Whenever a professor tries to give a student another attempt on a quiz or assignment, or give them extra time to take a quiz, we do that in Moodle by giving them a user override. This video will be demonstrating how to give user overrides in the assignment link or in the quiz link. When giving quizzes or assignments in your Moodle course, you might encounter a situation when a student might need to take a quiz again, or they might need extra time. Or they might have an assignment where they need extra time turning things in. Adding user overrides is popular if you have a DSS student, Disability Support Services, who requires extra time to take a quiz or assignment. Or if a student encounters personal circumstances, like they've been hospitalized or they have to attend a funeral. All these judgments come from within the discretion of the professor. And user overrides provide a very easy way for you to make adjustments for those particular students. There's a bunch of different circumstances that might come up to your judgment on whether or not to give students those extensions or not. If, for example, a student is having trouble with their quiz attempt and something is happening during their quiz attempt where they're unable to finish it, they should be contacting e-LIS and not you whenever that kind of thing is happening. This helps e-LIS develop a paper trail in case multiple students across campus are having the same issue. In the event this is happening, e-LIS will investigate the student's particular issue with the quiz and send an email to the professor with their options. A lot of times, if we think this issue is legitimate, we'll say that it's up to the professor on whether to give the student an extra attempt or provide them with extra time to take the quiz. Let's get started. With my quiz link open from my course page, click the More tab. Then select Overrides. In the drop-down menu, select User Overrides. Then click the Add User Override button. Under Override User, type the name of the student who you would like to give the user override and click on their name. Then choose the open and close dates for that specific student. If you want to give the student additional time while they're doing the attempt, you can enter that in the time limit. So here, I might give the student double the time, so 60 minutes instead of 30 minutes. If the student had an issue with their first attempt, you do have the ability to delete the first quiz attempt, but we would much rather preserve that first attempt in Moodle. So instead of deleting their first attempt, we would just give them 2 attempts for the quiz, because the first one had already been submitted and there was issues with it, obviously. So we're going to expand this to give them a second attempt. Once you hit save, this particular student has a unique settings on this quiz that all the other students do not have. In this example, all the other students can only take the quiz once and they only have less time to take it. They also have a different close date. In doing this, you can set as many quiz overrides as you want for any number of individual students. You have these same abilities with both quizzes or assignments. With an assignment, you can do the same thing using the same steps to add a user override. I'll type the student, I'll update the new due date, and if I'm using a cutoff date, I'll also enable the cutoff date. In this case, if the student has until a certain day to submit it, they can submit it up to 3 days late before they can no longer have the option to turn it in late. So that gave them a 3-day extension. When I click Save, it adds the override for that student. There's no way to repeat this process for someone who needs it throughout an entire semester of activities. However, if there's a group of students that need the same accommodation throughout the semester, you can do the same thing by putting those students into a cleverly named Moodle group and doing group overrides instead of user overrides. Need more help? For technical support, contact the e-LIS support team by clicking the Get Help button at the top of any Moodle page. For e-LIS instructional design services, like lessons or course building, email idteam@oakland.edu.